Hi guys, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Seyi. I'm so grateful to have you here watching this video. Thank you for your liking, your sharing, your support, your comments and all that. Thank you so much. So today I'll be answering a question because I've been getting this question from subscribers saying that do I apply for an open work permit or a closed work permit. So basically I'll be trying to explain the different types of work permits you have in Canada. So stay tuned. Welcome back. Thank you so much. If you've not seen my previous video on if you're eligible to get a work permit from outside of Canada, I'll be dropping it in the link above or in the description box, so please check it out. Today we'll be talking about the types of work permits we have. I have some notes here. So there is what is a work permit? A work permit is a legal document permitting a foreign national to engage in employment while in another country. So for instance, I'm from Nigeria and I wasn't born in Canada. I'm not a citizen of Canada. I'm not a permanent resident of Canada. How can I get employment and work in Canada? I need to get a work permit basically. So there are different types of work permits. There's an open work permit and a closed work permit. So for you to be eligible for either one of them, you need to meet some certain criteria. So regardless of where you apply or which type of work permit you're applying for, you must prove and meet these criteria. You must prove to an officer that you will leave Canada when your work permit expires. Typically that's 2 years. You must show that you have enough money to take care of yourself and your family members during your stay in Canada and to return home. So you just have to show that, okay, maybe because I have a job and this job is the salary is going to cover my expenses. So that's also a proof. Or maybe you have some savings, possibly because your work permit, you're not getting paid at your job. So that happens. So you have that option too. So maybe you've saved up enough money to show that yes, you can take care of yourself during that time. And you can show you have to obey the law and have no record of criminal activity. These are some of the criteria. So you don't have to you have to show that you don't have any criminal or police certificate that shows that you've been involved in some crime. So you have to show that you coming to Canada will not put any security threat to Canada, and you have to show that you're in good health and have a medical exam done if needed. And you also show that you do not plan to work for another employer listed with the status ineligible. So there are some employers that are listed ineligible. So for you to get a work permit, there are certain employers, maybe employers that are into things that doesn't really support them employing people from outside of Canada or for security reasons. I think, for instance, I'm not sure about this, but there's some security kind of work that they cannot just employ anybody to fill up that role. It has to be like citizens or permanent residents for security reasons. So, and you have to prove to the officer that the documents that they are requesting of you, you can show. So these are like basic proof for you to be able to apply for a work permit. But now let's go specifically to the employer specific permit. The background for you to be able to apply for an employer specific permit is that you've gotten a job, you saw the job opening, you applied, you went through the interview process, they saw that you're a good fit, and then you're employed. So then the employer has to go through the process to get you an LMIA. For instance, if you're coming through the global talent stream, like I spoke about in my previous video. So, and they got you an LMIA, and now you're at the point of applying for a work permit. So your employer must have completed all the required steps for the employer specific work permit. In that case, you will be getting an employer specific permit. It can also be called a closed work permit because your work permit is tied to that employer. But on the other hand, there's another type of work permit which is called the open work permit. It's open because you're not tied to a specific employer, and most likely you're not tied to a specific industry or sector. So the open work permit allows you to work for any company in Canada except for employers who are listed as ineligible and employers that are into aerotics. So you're good to go. So you may be eligible for an open work permit if you have any of these following. So if you're a student, international student who graduated from a designated learning institution and are eligible for the post-graduation work permit program. So take for instance, you did your undergraduate here in Canada and you're done, they'll give you an open work permit to do for a job with any of the employers. Or say you did your postgraduate and you get an open work permit for maybe a year or 2 years, depending on the duration of your education. So that's one. Or you're a student who is no longer able to meet the cost of studies. So that's called like a destitute student. I read a story or I watched a video on Instagram, somebody that the country sponsored her to come to another country, to Canada, and then they gave her full scholarship. After like a year or 2 years into it, they said they were not going to sponsor her again. Not because she's not doing well, but just because their budget doesn't cover that again. So that's somebody that's like a destitute student. So they can give you an open work permit to work pending when you're able to get your feet and continue your studies. Another person that might be eligible to an open work permit is somebody that has applied for permanent residency in Canada. So for instance, let's assume that I am on a work permit to Canada and then I've already applied for a permanent residency and my work permit is about to expire and then I want to renew or something. So I'm eligible to apply for an open work permit. There's also the option of if you're a spouse or common law partner of a skilled worker or international student. So if for instance I'm married, my spouse can get an open work permit because I've gotten a job offer, and that means I've gotten an employer specific work permit. Or if I'm a common law partner is those people that are not married but they do everything together. They kind of have all the documentations, they live together, they pay rent and what they call it, utilities together. So common law partner you also get. Or if you're a spouse or common law partner of an Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program applicant. So this is like another stream of immigration where for the Atlantic province they have employer specific. Yeah, I think once you get a job with any of the employers in that province or that under that program, they can sponsor you for permanent residency. So therefore your spouse or common law partner also gets, an open work permit. So if you're a refugee or refugee claimant, protected person or their family member, you also get that, so you can work when you get to Canada. If you are under an unenforceable removal order, if you're a temporary residence permit holder, let's say your permit is expiring, you want to renew, and if you're a young worker participating in special programs. You see, the list is just long, so many people can fall under the open work permit part. But it's not a case of I want to choose if I want to apply for an open work permit or a closed work permit. It's a case of based on what you're applying for, it's going to determine what your result will be, the type of work permit you get. I think they are basically the same thing. They have the same privilege. It's just that one person is tied to an employer, another person is free to move from one employer to the other. That's just it. So that's like the different types of work permits you have in Canada. I hope this answers somebody's question, and yeah, thank you for watching. Please do remember to like, share, subscribe to my channel, which is going to encourage me to research for more content that might be useful to you. And if there's something you would like me to make a video on, please drop it in the comment section below so that I can see it and try to get you information on that. Thank you very much for subscribing. See you on my next one. Bye.